Hey everybody, it's Dead Linux, and I've been offline sporadic for weeks now, I think. We've been traveling a lot and kind of recovering from that, in addition to just, trying to keep up with working out and exercising, and then trying to find time for everything else. The same old stuff as always, but I thought you probably deserve a channel update since I haven't had one in a while, and hitting YouTube usually hits everybody, so I thought maybe I'll do that. I'm also trying my little rig here with the handheld for the cell phone, so hopefully this sounds okay. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it sounds horrible, but anyway. I'm alright, things are fine, and things are actually better than I give them credit for. It's getting colder. We're actually going camping this weekend again, in the cold, so that should be fun. And then this next week, as I posted, I'll be on different hours, later hours, so obviously streaming's kind of out of the question, because by the time I'm done at 8 o'clock at night, the last thing I want to do is jump online. Who knows, maybe I will. Then of course the idea is, well, why don't you just stream in the morning? Well, yeah, I can never really get that done. If I can get a workout in the morning, have lunch, and then start my shift, that's about the best I can do. But I don't know. It's one of those things where trying to figure out what am I doing things for. It was funny. So I was at a friend's birthday party recently, and one of his daughters was asking my wife what she does, and she's a music teacher, and she's also in a band, and sings, and dances, and all that kind of stuff. And then she looked at me, and she's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm like, I work in IT, because what are you gonna say? And it struck me is that I'm not doing anything. It's not so much not doing anything. It's like, how do I describe this? It's like you have work. Work should not give you purpose, right? That's not what it's for. Unless you're in something that's really purpose fulfilling, and you're working for the what am I trying to think of? The Peace Corps, or some other very altruistic thing, and that's fulfilling for you, or you're a teacher, or you're helping people in some other way. You know what I mean? Then maybe then you can kind of devote yourself to your job, devote yourself to your work, and that's fulfilling for you. But you still have to find time for yourself, of course. But then if you have another, like what I do, and like what a lot of people do, you have the job, and then you have your life, and that's fine too. And you don't have to like your job. You just have to be able to have it give you, I think somebody said, the mind space. My brother, I think, said this, the mind space to do other things. And my job right now really isn't giving me that. And I don't know if it's the job so much as it's me, and how I've kind of been trying to rework my way of thinking for the past 12 months. And around this same time last year, I was just really, and you guys know this, I was kind of just in the bad mental space. And that was when streaming really started to drop off, and creating content at all. And then I've just been sporadic ever since. But then my work life improved, started exercising, started watching what I eat, that sort of thing. And I'm still keeping up with that. And it's important. I mean, this is all boring shit. Why are you listening to this? I don't know. You don't have to. But I thought, being, 44, approaching 45 here in January, kind of a step back to see what I'm doing. And I've been doing and creating content since 2010, according to YouTube, but seriously since 2016. So even then, that's, 15 years, 10, 15 years. Well, it wouldn't be 10 yet, a couple more years than it would be for straight up streaming. And it all started with Skyrim for me. And I think I have to start following, because I want to keep, I've invested a lot in content creation, just as a hobby. Just like you would invest in anything else as a hobby. Warhammer, for example, great example of that, because it takes so much time for painting miniatures and collecting an army, and you want to be able to do something with that. Or, say, fly fishing, or fishing. I, devoted a lot of time and resources to fishing. Haven't done that for a while too. It's easy to fill the space you have with nothingness. scrolling and looking for something funny, scrolling and looking for something uplifting or optimistic. And those things are temporary. Those are the social media things that, like I was saying the other day, that's saccharin. That's not real nutrition. That's not value that you get back. We know this. We still reach for it. It's mental sugar. So it just gives you a temporary high, if it's even there. And I was thinking about specifically like how much human contact I really have during a week. And I have more contact with customers through my job than I have contact with friends and family, even my wife, depending on the week. So that's what's feeding me. And you are what you eat. So I'm full of customers. Sandwich! No, but it's that sort of piece. So what are my options here? Well, I'm ignoring the big one. The big one is Twitch. And it doesn't have, I mean, Twitch is not a platform that everybody likes right now. I get it. It seems like it's saturated. It seems like you can't be big. You don't have to use it for that. I have the setup here for streaming on Linux, which I love Linux. I really enjoy it. I've been using it for a long time, and it's to the point where it's like breathing. I don't even have to care about it anymore. And so I have the streaming setup and 2 computers ready to go. But I have to have a purpose for why I'm doing it. And that's not always easy to find. When you're playing a certain game like Death Stranding, you have a purpose. I'm going to get to the next stage. I'm going to get to the next chapter. If I'm doing Survival Mondays or whatever, I've got another game to look at. I've got another game to look at. If it's Skyrim, I have another quest or whatever. But sometimes you don't have a plan. And then does that mean you don't get to play? Does that mean you don't get to communicate? I mean you don't get to have that sort of interaction on Twitch with chat or with you guys? Or even just put it over to YouTube. I have clips from my last Valheim streams that I have not done anything with. They're just sitting on the computer. It's all automated. I don't even have to do anything. I have the clips there. I just have to throw them in a video and upload it. Still haven't done that because I don't have a plan. I don't feel it. What do I do? That's what's hitting me. What do I do? I do a lot of random shit. And that's okay, I guess. You know? And following your interests is okay, but you also still want to have a goal. You want to still progress. It's like working out. It's like exercising. You want to feel like, okay, so what's the next step? Do I put another plate on? Is it more weight? Do I add more reps? Something like that. You can't do that with Twitch, but you can. It depends on what your goal is. And so I was thinking, I need that sort of social interaction, and if I'm not getting the right kind of interaction from work, which is all online, I work from home, then I gotta find another place that's healthier to get that. Twitch is a good next step. Because Twitch and YouTube was, granted, on their own, horrible things in some ways. They are advertising horses. They are full of people who hate other people and extremely intolerant, somehow get their shit out there. But it also is a way to create content and publish it, and create content and share it, and create a community, even if that community isn't very big. Or even have the chance to meet new people. YouTube was a way for me to get into meeting new people in something I loved, and that branched off into Skyrim and modding and the Gamer Poets community and Twitch and meeting people who are other streamers. That's important. That still can happen. It just takes a lot longer. And that's what I keep forgetting. And it's hard because even chatting in a chat on Twitch, it's like it takes a spoon or two to do that. You know what I mean? So it's hard. But I think it's just one of those reworking sorts of things. And it's also a habit sort of thing. Like once you get over the first hump, you can just keep doing it. And once you get used to what it is. So what I'm basically saying here is what I'm going to try doing is I tried to do Valheim. Valheim's become an easy game to jump back into. Finally! Gosh! I haven't even beat the Elder ever in my life, but it doesn't matter. At least I know where I'm at. And I feel better about the game. So I can always play that. Skyrim, we can always go back to that. I have staples, right? So what I may do, at least for this next week, if I do stream at all, even though I'm working late, is I'm not going to worry about putting my stream and having the right game on it and having a great title and whatever like that. I'm just going to set it up so I can just hit go and that's it. Because what's the point? Be discovered. Fuck that. I just need to get time on the board because that helps keep those muscles working. And that's what I need more than anything. And it's the same thing with exercise. Like I'm making all sorts of analogies and comparisons. Forgive me. But I'm just getting this out here because I just need to talk about it and you're here. So it's like when you haven't worked out for a while, you don't want to burn yourself out right away because then you won't work out the next day. You want to work a lot of muscles a little bit and then you'll want to do more. That's how I've been able to figure it out. And even just, using the total gym and resistance bands, which I still love. I got kind of burnt on doing workout streams. Just some of the audience that seemed to come into those, not my cup of tea. Nice people, but just not kind of what I was looking for. And there was a couple of streams that just kind of didn't feel right. So I don't want to do that anymore. If anybody really wants to push for it, I guess I can. I got the setup for it. But and walkies with Linux and all this kind of stuff. Had great plans that just may not work out. But it's good. I mean, I'm glad I tried different things. But what I'm basically going to do is keep with streaming games and gameplay. But follow an old sort of, not really a saying, but it was something that, I don't know how he said it. Robert Frost, the poet Robert Frost, who was Poet Laureate of the United States for a while, I believe. Pretty sure he was. Anyway, he said if you're having trouble, I'm massacring this. This isn't how he said it, but he said something along the terms of, if you're trying to write something down and you can't, lower your expectations. And he meant to the basement. So same thing with Twitch. If you have trouble, and I have trouble finding time, making time, doing a stream that I'm proud of, then lower my expectations just to get out there. Because I don't want to stop, and I want to do something. And I want to treat work less seriously, and I want to treat myself and my alone time, my hobby, whatever this is, putting stuff on YouTube, putting stuff on Instagram, on social media, putting stuff out there, not just scrolling, actively participating, and not even participating, just putting my shit out there, and here we go. And then liking everybody's posts constantly. And that's it. That's I've got to take that more seriously. Not seriously in the way of I have to do it right. Seriously in the way of make time for it because it is a healthy outlet. It can be. I've made it so. Oh yeah. So that's where I'm at. So if you're still watching, almost to the 15-minute mark, I also have Corbin78 in the background, who is an excellent streamer, by the way. And he started streaming again. So if you have a chance to catch him, he's not every day like he used to, I don't think, but hell of a good streamer. Also completely 100% on Linux. So I've got him in the background because he's on again. I want to make sure to catch him. But if you're still here, as far as things for the channel that I have my eye on, the game-wise, Crowsworn, that's on my radar. Don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I wanna play that game. I want to sit down and give it time to play it. That's the other thing too, is trying to just have the motivation to play video games. Starfield. Starfield is installed. I'm one of those that has an NVIDIA card. and I don't want to downgrade my drivers, and the newest drivers are almost there. So I'm just waiting for them to officially release, and Nobara picks them up. Nobara being a Fedora derivative. Once that happens, give it a shot, and I want to play that, and I want to see if it's No Man's Skyrim, like I'm hoping it will be. And those are the two things I'm really looking to at the moment. Other than that, I like playing survival games, and I want to go back to RPGs on 1 day a week, so we can kind of get back to Final Fantasy X, because we kind of left that in the lurch, and I was really kind of getting into it. And that's about it. Like I said, I'm not going to promise anything as far as schedule-wise or content-wise. If it's something that's important to me, like if I stream Skyrim, it's going to be the same character. Many Roads is not going away. That was the reason why I created that character. The character I have in my Skyrim playthrough right now that I haven't put anything on in months was created for the purpose of continually coming back to. That's why his name was called Many Roads. So he will be the character I play with going forward until either I beat the game or play him to a place where I feel like he can either change and become something different or whatever. So I keep thinking about this stuff. If it's Starfield and I do start playing that, I will make a playlist for that. I will put that on YouTube so you can see it. Valheim will be sporadic because I'm never progressing fast enough and I always get stuck in doing stuff, so that'll just be for fun streams, just for doing basic shit. No Man's Sky I'd like to rotate back into. I've been watching Demandred 1957, and it's always been something that I've really enjoyed playing. That could be something I can rotate in. So I'm not going to say anything's out of the picture, but there's going to be some games that will definitely be things I constantly keep going back to and rotating between. And then if there's new things that come along, I'll play them. In fact, there was another survival game I just picked up today that I've had my eye on for a while. May rotate that then. But again, I'm not going to give any promises, no guarantees. So I'm going to do the best I can, let everything else go, and we'll just see what happens. So anyway, for those of you who've hung out with me and have watched me all through years and years and happen to catch this, if I haven't said so, thank you. You're one of the reasons why I keep doing this. Because I feel like at least I have my community is not big. My community is also kind of stretched in various places. And that's kind of how I've always been anyway. But I appreciate it. And you have probably helped me a lot more than you think. And I can't thank you enough for that. I'm going to try not to get teary-eyed. Because if it wasn't for the people who watched me and enjoyed the content and have hung out and checked out things, not even if I'm doing if it's not your cup of tea and you enjoyed the Skyrim series and nothing else and you haven't watched for a while, I don't care. The fact that you enjoyed something I created and you made a point of saying so and hung out really made a big impact. And it made me feel like, hey, I can entertain and I can do what I want to do, which I'd be doing on my own anyway. And people will want to come along. So, yeah, that's about it. Anyway, I wanted to just kind of get that out there. And I've been doing channel updates at least a couple times a year anyway, so I thought it was about time, it was about due to at least have you see my face and see if this setup works. So, I'm going to go camp in the cold and the rain, because it's like the last day of the season we can really kind of get away with this before the snow flies. But thank you so much for watching. We will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.